Hey everybody, Jake here and welcome to the hobby. So I just put up a lot of Pokemon card products for sale on my personal eBay account, and I wanted to share with you guys some of the items that I'm currently listing, but at the same time I really want to talk about selling Pokemon cards in the hobby because I think it gets a bad rap, but in general that's going to be normal in every single hobby. You have to sell off some of your collection eventually. It's not simply just buy, collect, collect. It's a lot of buy, collect, sell, trade. There is a constant stream of new products that I'm adding to my collection, but every now and again I do let go of some products as well. So some of the items that I'm currently listing, and I'm going to start with the sealed products first. I'm going to be listing a Sun and Moon Burning Shadows booster box. Big part of it, I have a couple of extra inside of my collection, and I'm looking to get rid of some items so that I can start to thin down my collection and start to make it a little bit more niche. I'm starting to realize that I don't need multiple booster boxes from previous sets, and if I don't need a lot of them, they just sit in my closet doing nothing. So here we also have a Sun and Moon Team Up booster box that I am looking to sell. This one's kind of interesting because the Pokemon logo is on half of the box. The front half does not have the Pokemon logo, and this is normal when the whole entire box is sleeved up in the end caps of the plastic wrap. So this one's kind of unique. Also, the Pokemon wrap is backwards on it, so that's another interesting quirk. So these are some sealed products I'm looking to get rid of, but I think the general case when it comes to selling Pokemon cards and why it gets a bad rap is really scalping. But the thing is, most of these products have been in my collections for a year. I'm also getting rid of another Luigi Pikachu box. I don't really display this box. It's sitting in my closet, and it would be a lot better off inside someone else's collection. And another thing I'd like to share is that my eBay store is not a secret. Anyone is allowed to go and look at it. I don't really broadcast it, and a big part of it is because I don't really have a lot of items for sale ever. You'll recognize very, very quickly that I don't really sell a lot of Pokemon cards. I'll have sporadic periods where I'll do a lot of listings, but that's rare. You know, I'm not a Pokemon card seller. I don't have a steady stream or steady supply of products that I'm constantly listing. So there's no reason for me to really broadcast it, but it's not a secret. If you want to see my eBay store, there's a link in the description and you can look at it. It's not special. Some Pokemon YouTubers will actually say, oh, they don't show you their eBay stores because they don't want to add in bias. I promise you, no one is buying my Pokemon cards for above market price simply because I'm a YouTuber or something like that. Don't kid yourself. I'm not that special. And I totally I totally understand why some people think like, well, isn't it better to hide it? I would say no, not really. eBay is fully transparent. You can see every single sold listing. You can see reviews. You can see all these information readily available. It's all available to the open public, and that's what I actually usually like to do. Sometimes people will message me and say like, hey, I'm looking to sell some Pokemon cards. Do you want to just do PayPal or something like that? And I never do those types of deals. I always go through a legitimate source because I want to make sure that it's fully transparent. You're never going to see me, well, actually that's not completely true. I would definitely hand cash over a table if we're doing a deal at, you know, a convention, a collectible meetup, something of that sort. That's usually normal to have cash on hand, but in most cases, if it's a long-term transaction that's over, you know, two separate locations, then I'll probably always prefer a legitimate source because I just want that transparency. Some cards that I'm also listing off are some Scream promo cards. These are super popular and really, really desirable. I have a couple of PSA 10s, but I think I'm also having a bunch of different other grades in here as well. The Rowlet one is kind of interesting because it is the most affordable of all the Scream promos, and a big part of it is that it is the easiest of all 5 versions to get a PSA 10. The hardest one to get a PSA 10 is actually the Psyduck. So the Psyduck PSA 10 has a premium price over the Rowlet and the Eevee. the two that really stand out are Pikachu and Mimikyu. A Mimikyu PSA 10 for the screen promo is worth well over $3,000. This is a PSA 9, and I actually have a Canadian viewer who messaged me saying they want to purchase this, so I gave them a deal. They haven't purchased it yet, so it's still technically available, but these might disappear on my eBay listings. I just listed these like yesterday and the day right before this video, and a lot of people are already messaging me with offers, and some of these items have already sold. So pretty much right after this video, I'm going to be shipping off some of these cards already. The Mimikyu is by far the most expensive. Where was I going with that? A big part of that is because it's the most rare out of all 5 screen promos. The Mimikyu was available for a very niche quantity, and I don't know why. The other most expensive one is the Pikachu, but Pikachu's popular not because it's rare, but because it's really in demand. Everyone wants a Pikachu screen promo, so that's one of the reasons why it's so expensive. But some of the other cards that I'm listing off are some duplicates inside of my collection. I have a lot of PSA graded Pikachu promo cards that are duplicative. I just have multiple copies of them, and I personally don't need that many multiple copies of these cards. So most of you guys don't have a single copy of these cards inside of your collection. It's better off for me to just list it off. They'll go to a better collector, someone who will really appreciate them, rather than having these cards be gathering dust inside of my closet or inside of one of my plastic bins. You know, they can go to someone who really appreciates them. So yep, gonna be listing off some interesting cards. And I think the notion that selling Pokemon cards is bad is just something that we have to get rid of. It's part of the hobby. It's always going to be a part of it. It's sort of like blood. It has to run through the hobby for it to be alive. Part of the hobby is collecting, trading, and selling off your collection. It's not just simply buying, opening. I just don't like that concept. A lot of these cards are meant to be preserved, and they're meant to trade hands. That's part of the hobby that I really enjoy, is connecting with other collectors and really just discussing what cards they have inside of their collection, what cards do I have inside of my collection, what cards am I looking to trade, what cards am I looking to sell, and what cards I'm looking to buy, because it's a constant stream, right? I'm always looking to upgrade my collection. A lot of collectors are. If you have a copy of a PS9 Easter Pikachu, in a couple of years you might be looking to upgrade it to a PSA 10. That's what happens to a lot of collectors, is once you become a better expert, you'll end up buying cards at a higher quality. A lot of people might pick up an ungraded card if they're a brand new collector. They don't really understand graded cards yet. They might start at a PSA 6, PSA 7, but over the years, as you understand what you enjoy in the hobby, you start deciding, okay, this is a card that I really love. I want a PSA 10 version of that card, and that's going to be normal. And some cards are going to be outside of your price point, like a first edition base set Charizard PSA 10. You're probably never going to get yourself a copy, but you might be happy with a PSA 6. Those are still gorgeous cards. And that's something we've discussed on this channel, is that a lot of the times you can't tell the difference between the grades. So for example, right here, I have a PSA 7 Easter Pikachu. It's one of the very few Easter themed cards in Pokemon. Very few. There's like 3 or 4 of them, and this one is by far the most aesthetically pleasing. I have a PSA 7 copy on the right, and I have a PSA 10 copy on the left, and most likely, to the naked eye, you're not going to really be able to tell the difference between these two cards. I would say right off the bat, the one on the right has a slightly worse centering, and that's pretty much all I can tell with the naked eye. And this is me having these cards pretty darn close up. Across the room, no one's going to be able to notice. People are only really going to recognize, hey, that's a really cute card, and you can go into a conversation about how you have an Easter Pikachu card that is pretty darn rare. So yep, I'm going to have some of these cards up for listing. If you don't see some of these cards or products up for sale, most likely it means it's already gone, somewhere you bought it. But like I said, it's fully transparent. You're fully available to look through my collection, see what you want to pick up, and maybe have a piece of my collection for yourself. Thank you so much for watching. Just really wanted to discuss selling Pokemon cards and if it's truly a bad rap or not, because I think at the end of the day, if you have some Pokemon cards inside of your collection, at some point or other, you're going to be selling off pieces of it. That's just part of the hobby. And it doesn't mean I'm exiting the hobby. It means I'm recycling my collection, going to other collectors who are going to enjoy some of these cards a little bit more. And at the same time, I'm able to pick up other products inside of the hobby that I would really enjoy to have inside of my collection that I just don't have. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I will see you guys next time.